Good evening. I call to order the Newman City Council regular meeting, September 12th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. As we come here tonight, as we join together for the city council meeting, give us guidance to make good decisions for the city and help it grow. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Councilmember McDonald. Mayor Pro Tem Ball.
Here.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Here.
Councilmember Pimentel.
Here.
Mayor Graham.
Here. Any declarations of conflicts of interest? No. Ceremonial matters are none tonight. Items from the public, non-agenda items. Anybody wishing to speak tonight?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city staff, community. Thank you. Gavin Klein, Congressman Duarte's office. We are officially over with August recess. So the congressman is back in session. I believe session started today. But last time I was here, we spoke a little bit about the Military Information Service Academy night that we had. We had a great turnout. We had a couple students from Newman show up for that. I believe we had about 55 in attendance with all the different representatives from the different branches. So it was a great event, and as always, we'll continue that up until October 31st is the deadline, I believe, for our office. I'll go ahead and update you guys with the confirmed date. But our office has the ability to give 10 nominations for these academy services. And there was another one is Congressman Duarte was honored to be a part of Corporal Singh's dedication memorial. Very sad but important day for the city of Newman, the Singh family, as well as Stanislaus County. So we're honored to be a part of that. And as always, thank you all for your time. If there's any questions, always feel free to reach out to myself or our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak?
All right. Well, good evening, members of the city of Newman. My name is Justin, and I have the honor and privilege of representing Assemblymember Juan Alanis in our state legislature. Just coming by to give an update on the happenings in the state capitol right now. We are actually at the end of our session for the year, so Friday will be our official last day of legislative business for the year until January. I'm sure you guys have seen there's a lot of legislation coming through the pipeline. One of the most important ones that we had passed just yesterday was Senate Bill 14 that was authored by Shannon Grove, co-authored by our office, and what that bill did was make child sex trafficking a serious felony in the state of California. Something we feel that is long overdue. It's quite surprising that it wasn't in the first place, but that's been sent to the governor's desk, voted on, and passed unanimously, 79-0 actually. So all but one member voted in favor of that bill. We're really excited to see that make it to the governor's desk, and we expect it to be signed relatively quickly. I think last time I was here, I talked to you guys about the Nevada Youth Sports Act and accessibility to AEDs for youth organizations, how that bill had been signed by the governor. Well, we've managed to get our second, third, and fourth bills sent to the governor's desk this week, and we expect a possible fifth by the end of the week as well, all of which have received zero opposition, have not even gotten a vote against them, and a lot of those have to do with similar to the Nevada Youth Sports Act, our public safety, so making sure our first responders are properly equipped with the training and resources that they need, and as well as our victims. So that's what we have going on in Sacramento. Similar to Gavin, we were really honored to be a part of the proceedings for Corporal Singh. I'm sure many of you know, Assemblymember had a very personal relationship with Corporal Singh, and going into the new year, we're going to make it a priority to make sure that what happened with Corporal Singh and the loss that his family have suffered through doesn't happen again in the state. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak tonight? Good evening, Russell.
Good evening. I'll let you go now so you can get all your legislators out of the way. My name is Russell Fowler. I work for Supervisor Chance Condit, who's sorry he couldn't be here today, but had other obligations. Asked me to join you instead. I want to say we had a great time at the Fall Festival, great time during the parade. Great to see the community out in force like that, and just enjoying this beautiful downtown, which we both think might be tied for first in District 5 as far as downtowns go. Again, like the others mentioned, we're honored to attend the Ron L. Singh Memorial Ceremony. I want to give a huge thanks to the Police Officers Association for the work that they did on behalf of that, and your Parks and Rec staff made it real easy for us, and Senator Alvarado Gill as well for helping us carry that across the finish line. And then one other topic that the supervisor wishes me to brief you on, and that your city manager may talk about a little bit in his report, is we did have a West Side Healthcare Summit with Kaiser and Sutter and Del Porto Healthcare District, as well as other representatives from large insurance companies and medical companies. Again, your city manager might get into more details, but the supervisor is hopeful, and we are hopeful that we will roll out expanded services and expanded hours for West Side residents in 2024 to complement Golden Valley, rolling out their expanded hours as part of this program as well. So expanded healthcare access has been number one for the supervisor since taking office, so we're excited to see some action on that, and happy to answer any questions on that or when your city manager talks about it as well. Any questions?
Thank you, Russell.
Thanks as always, guys. Appreciate it.
And I'd like to thank you guys all for coming because, you know, it's important for the representatives to be here, and that you guys all show up almost every meeting. So it's greatly appreciated that you guys are here involved with our community. And I'll touch on the Corporal Singh dedication real quick. Like to thank Congressman Duarte, Senator Alvarado Gill, Assemblyman Alanis, Supervisor Condit, the Caltrans crew, the Newman staff that put everything together, the K-9 or the police department and all their things for coming out and support that. Most importantly, the Singh family for allowing us to honor him as we did to try to keep his memory alive and, you know, give him the honor that's due the best that we can. So thank you guys for all being involved in that and everybody's effort to help get that done. That was a huge project. Anybody else wishing to speak? All right. Thank you. Item number 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the August 22nd, 2023 meeting. D, approval of contract extension with CSG Consultant for building inspection and plan check services through calendar year 2026.
I move to approve consent calendar.
We have first, do we have second?
A second.
We have first and second, you want to vote online? Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. Item number 9, public hearings. There are none tonight. Item number 10, regular business. A, adopt resolution 2023, next to number, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Newman adopting the addendum to the Newman Community Conservation Area NCCA Master Plan Initial Study.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening,
Catherine.
everyone. The item before you is a final addendum to our CEQA document that we did in 2021 for the parcel that we all know as the Newman Community Conservation Area. When we did that CEQA document, we only were at a 30% concept design for the wetland project. So as we developed the design further, and even now we're in construction, we needed to re-examine the CEQA document to make sure that there weren't going to be any more environmental impacts or environmental requirements for the wetland project. So the changes in the design were, just the key changes were more extensive recontouring in the central swell area to improve wetland enhancement and reestablishment. Addition of an outlet allowing return flow from the central swell on the 78-acre parcel to the Miller Ditch, and more extensive work at the central swell inlet outlet on the 24-acre parcel to improve hydrologic communication with the Miller Ditch. So we analyzed that, looked at it, what the impacts would be as far as the Environmental Quality Act. And the analysis determined that none of the proposed project changes would result in new or substantially increased significant environmental impacts, and no new information of substantial importance was available that would change the conclusions of the 2021 initial study. And so this is kind of tying up loose ends, so we have a complete CEQA document. It is recorded and available at sequanet.opr.ca.gov, where you can read it in its entirety if you so wish to do so. And I can take any questions.
How are we looking on the project?
The project's looking good. The Central Swell and News project, the Restored Wetland and News are being constructed kind of concurrently. And so the hard work hasn't begun. And what I mean by hard work is the concrete, the bridge, the inlets and outlets to the Miller Ditch. Right now, it's still dirt work, and so you'll see a lot of trucks. We want to thank everybody for their patience to see those trucks. It doesn't impact traffic, but the projects are going as planned. And no, we had 2 red-tailed hawks nesting on adjacent to the parcel, which we needed to protect, and we did. We had a buffer around that zone, and we watched them fledge, and 2 live baby birds flew off to go cause havoc to the rodents in the area. So it was successful. That's what CEQA was all about, is protecting the habitat that we're interrupting. And so we think that's a huge success.
Any questions from the council? I'll open up the public for any comments or questions. All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for action.
Okay, I move to adopt resolution number 2023, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Newman adopting the addendum to the Newman Community Conservation Area Master Plan Initial Study.
We have first,
Second.
we have first and second, go and vote electronically. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Regular business 10B, adopt resolution 2023, next number, a resolution adopting of concurrence and support of the Constellation Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, for fiscal year 2022-2023, prepared for the Stanislaus Urban County.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual event for us. We do this every fall, and it's a requirement of HUD, which is the Department of Housing and Urban Development. City of Newman is part of the Stanislaus County Consortium. We join the cities of Oakdale, Houston, Patterson, Ceres, and Waterford, and also Stanislaus County. What that means is we get an allocation every year to do it. Instead of going out and having to apply for grant funding, we get an allocation every year to do projects here in our community. The CAPER is your annual performance evaluation. So every year we have to report what progress we made towards fulfilling our 5-year consolidated plan and action plan. So this time, for the fiscal year of 22-23, this upcoming one, or this past one, I'm sorry, we received $157,558. And what we're doing is we've consolidated that money over a couple of years now, and we're going to do surface improvements in the Sunshine area. Most people don't know it as that because it's the area, the 1900 block of Leslie, Sydney, Pine Avenue, and Pine Court. And so if any of you have been down in that area, you can see that the infrastructure there is aging, and it's time to do some investment into that area. We're looking about, I think it's about $1 million. Is that right, Catherine? Yes. Yeah, we're going to be doing $1 million surface improvement out there to remove some trees or some damaged curb, gutter, sidewalks. We're going to replace some water lines. Measure L, you've done some Measure L money. We're going to do some surface improvements out there in terms of the streets and all that. So we take these CDBG funds and we invest them into some of these older housing stock areas there to, again, upgrade the infrastructure, and that's what we're doing there. And so over the past year, we've done just, again, planning and some design work. We're anticipating that that project will start construction probably in the summer of '24. So just right around the corner over there, and we'll be doing a big another $1 million project over there into the infrastructure there. So it's our recommendation that the council adopt this resolution, again, of concurrence and acceptance of the CDBG 21-22 annual action plan. Keeper.
Any questions from council? I'll open up the public for any questions or comments. All right, seeing none, I'll bring it back to council.
I'd like to move to adopt resolution number 2023, a resolution adopting of concurrence and support of the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CalPERS, for fiscal year 2022 to 2023, prepared for the Stanislaus Urban County.
First, do we have a second?
Second.
First and second, go and vote. Motion carries 4 with 1 absent. Skip item 11 because Russell already went. Thank you, Russell. Items 12 and 13, items from the city manager and staff and city council.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to echo, Mayor, your sentiments and thank Congressman Duarte, Senator Alvarado Gil, Assemblyman Rowley, Supervisor Condit for all personally coming down and taking part of our highway dedication project. That's for them to take time out of their busy Labor Day weekend is a big deal. So we really appreciate them. And like we've all said, this is a big moment for our community to go ahead and honor, Corporal Singh and all of his service and dedication that he gave to us. I'm also like to take this opportunity to thank, the Fall Festival Committee for doing a great job this year, and as well as our staff. Most people don't know, we probably spent almost 2 weeks of time, just public works, a week before, several days afterwards, preparing the park and everything ready over there. So they do a great job. Our PD's out there, providing services out there. Public works staff is out there all the time. And so our staff did a great job. And then also to you, Mayor, I know you had a busy schedule this weekend doing a lot of events, but you did a great job this weekend. Really want to appreciate, you stepping up and doing that for us. And and leading the council. You did a great job. Appreciate that. Mr. Fowler talked a little bit about it yesterday in Patterson, and then over Zoom. There's a healthcare summit that took place, and the idea is to improve the healthcare services here on the west side. I think step one, and I know Supervisor Condis did an excellent job on this, but step one that they're really trying to achieve is just do after hours and weekend urgent care. So if your family does have an incident over the weekend or after hours, you don't have to travel all the way to Turlock or to Modesto to seek, medical care on that. And maybe we can go to either here or Patterson. I think ultimately we're also talking about maybe Crow's Landing having a location out there. So, and a Golden Valley Healthcare starting it out there. But this is really something I see our supervisor. He does a great job representing us. And this is one of the ones that's near and dear to his heart. So again, all kudos go out to Supervisor Condit for doing that. And we really appreciate that. So we'll continue to monitor that as well. We got our TRO, which is temporary restraining order against Martinez Pallets. That case went before the judge last week. He signed the case in our favor. I went by yesterday morning. They were not operating. I didn't get a chance to go by today because I was out of the office today, but we'll go by and continue to monitor them. I'm sure they've already been served. We use a professional service to make sure they got served the TRO, and so they're going to make sure they comply with the judge's orders on that. It's not over yet. That was only the temporary one. We have to go back to the judge. I believe it's on the 27th of September, looking for a permanent injunction to get them out of there. We've spent a lot of time and resources chasing this. So we're gonna ask the judge to continue to, make sure that they follow through and pay their fines, pay all of our legal bills that are associated with this. And we're not only going after the owners of Martinez Palace, but we're also going after the property owners as well, who were silent and allowed this to continue. So And then just, I'd like to, again, thank Corporal Lopez and Sergeant Gomez, MPOA, Canine Association for the Tunnels to Towers run. It was a great run. And then, it worked out really well. We all missed the Bailey's run. And at one point, I think the Bailey's run got, 600 to 800 people. It got really big at one point in time. And, we can see the Tunnels to Towers run actually getting that big at some point in the future too. But it was a great start to the fall festival. And then we ended up in the plaza with the dedication, and I think it all worked out really well. But there's a lot of people behind the scenes, like I said, Corporal Lopez and Sergeant Gomez and, the MPOA, the staff over at PD, and everybody that took part in that. So as well as, Allie Mendoza, I don't know if you guys know, she puts in a ton of time on this and does the Kids Zone and the Fall Festival. So I want to thank them, again, all of our public works staff and everybody else out there. So that's all that I had, Mayor.
Thank you. Ally.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Not too much to report today, other than we got through Labor Day weekend, so that was awesome. Thank you for everybody who was there. We're currently working on Trunk or Treat with the girls. If you know anybody interested in having a trunk, send them my way. We can get them an application. And then soccer season has started. So if you guys see a lot of people out at Sherman Park on the weekend, know that soccer season is in full effect. We do have pictures in a couple of more weeks, so we'll have a lot more people out there. And if you're wanting to stop by, check out the community, grill some hot dogs with us, let us know. We'll be there every Saturday for the next 7 weeks. With that, I can answer any questions that y'all may have.
Any questions? Good job. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Speaking of Fall Festival, we did not have any major incidents this year. The Fall Festival Committee had made the decision the week prior to the Fall Festival beginning to close the park and all the festivities at 10 p.m. nightly. So that was probably a contributing factor, plus the great weather we had, which was very, very nice. Not related to the Fall Festival, but just touching on Labor Day weekend, our patrol officers, in addition to circling the park, of course, and answering calls for service, they made 6 DUI arrests. I know that I had touched on that last year, that we had an increase in DUI arrests, and that was quite a few for a weekend, plus answering calls and patrol and all that. So hopefully we can make some better decisions out there and find some alternatives. Touching on an incident that we had earlier this week on September 8th, it was about 11:12 p.m. Our officers were dispatched to the area of Pioneer Park for the reports of shots fired. I'm going to have to kind of limit the details. It's still an open and ongoing investigation. I hope you understand that. They located 4 victims, 2 who had sustained major injuries. They were transported to area hospitals where they received treatment. Yesterday, our officers served a search warrant at a residence in town. During that, they recovered a firearm and other items of evidentiary value. A 25-year-old Newman man was arrested for various weapons-related charges. And like I said, it's an open and ongoing investigation. So as more information becomes available, we'll keep you updated. But other than that, I think that's about it. Unless anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Outstanding work. I know you guys have to work all weekend. A lot of people don't realize officers work the entire weekend as well as their regular shifts leading up and after that. So that's at least it was cool. That's the only thing that was beneficial.
It was a nice change to Labor Day weekend, that's for sure.
Thank you guys for all your hard work. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lou?
Anything to report?
Catherine?
I'll take his and Keith's. I have just a few updates on projects. We have the Highway 33 and Inyo project happening right now, and they're preparing in the next couple of weeks to pulverize and fill and pave the west side of Inyo and the highway on that side. And so that will be where they'll just have to stripe after that. So that project is quickly coming to a conclusion. Canal School Inyo Surface Improvement Project is in full force. They've pulverized out there and they're going to start hauling rock in. I have not heard that we're not on the schedule of the first week of November being finished with that project. I just want to thank everybody for their patience as we do these projects. They're big projects. They are very, very inconvenient for drivers. But this is what's necessary to be able to do these road improvements, and they were really, really needed. So I just thank everybody for their patience as we go through this and take an alternate route. The Newman Nature Park, we're, after your approval of the agreements, we're in full design of that project using the input that we received several times from the community. And so we'll be sharing that with you, and that's an exciting project. The third project that we're building out on the Newman Community Conservation Area, so it's super exciting. Maybe not to Lou because I'm spending way too much money, but a lot of it's grant funded, don't forget. News and Wetland, I gave you an update. Those are being constructed as scheduled. We're doing the T Street Corridor Community Connections grant. That is a grant from Caltrans, and I'd like to thank Councilman Ball for helping me, get information for advisory group members, which will be advising us on the survey questions that we're going to ask the community. And because we really, these kinds of things can really impact the residents that live in the areas. And so we want to get really good impact from really good information from them to make sure that we're not way out of line and we have a bunch of really mad people when we put a sidewalk out there where they don't want one. We're also doing the urban forest management plan, which is every tree, 4,500 trees have been surveyed in this town. And we have now ratings on all the trees, whether they need to be removed, if there's an open space to plant a tree, if there's, this project also will plant 200 trees. So we'll take that information. We have a nice system that we get to go in and indicate if we've pruned the tree, so we can really stay on top of our tree maintenance, which is really important. And part of that will be community outreach, where we'll be teaching the community the importance of trees and where to plant them so they're not out in some area where we have to tell them to cut them down in 3 years because they're in our right of way. And then we're in design right now for the Measure L project that you guys approved back a few months ago, and SB1, and which is the Stanislaus, and then this SCBGP and CMAQ money, which is the last 2 blocks of Maine down by Inyo. So there's a lot of projects going on. A lot of these are in design, and then they'll come to you when we're ready to award to the contractor to get them constructed. So a lot of exciting stuff going on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can take any questions if you have any.
Thank you.
All right, Keith, you can talk for a minute.
All right, thanks. Good evening, Mayor, Council. We had a residential structure fire on September 5th. It was incendiary in nature. We're following up with our fire investigator on a couple of leads. No real cameras or anything in the area, so we're just working that down and see what we can come up with. We're working on school inspections with the county, so the fire warden's office will be doing the inspections of the schools. If anything of significance comes up, I'll report back to you guys. We've been finishing up some basic training, just standard firefighter training. It's an annual refresher. We have 3 in the fire academy at Columbia College, so we look forward to them coming online in about January, February. They're former explorers, so it's going to be great. They already kind of know the system, know the area. We'll be also starting a joint basics academy with West Stanislaus County Fire. We have 2 applicants at this time in that process, so we'll see what that comes out of. We are short on staffing still. This time of year has just been really hard on us. Of course, it's an increase in call volume too, so we're doing the best we can. The chiefs are staying busy. And then Patterson's fire chief put in retirement paperwork, so we have a longstanding partnership with them, so we'll see what that brings. And I can answer any questions anyone might have.
All the volunteers for their hard work.
Thank you.
Pro Tem?
As always, thank you to all staff, and on this occasion to the Newman Fall Festival Committee. I know it is a horrendously long weekend for all of our volunteers, all of our staff, our first responders, so it was a very nice weekend, and I'm so glad there were no incidents of note. So, thank you all.
I have nothing tonight.
Nothing.
Again, thank you for everybody that was involved with the Sing Memorial. I kind of hit on that a little bit earlier, and then everybody that was involved in the Fall Festival. A lot of work's put into that, and it was, from my experience, it was a great turnout, and we thank everybody that was part of it and showed up to that entire group, and everybody that worked behind the scenes to make it happen. So just a lot of work. Thank you guys. With that, I'll ask for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second? Anybody?
A second.
Adjourn.